This podcast of The Pat Campbell Show is powered by the law offices of John M. Dunn.
I was perusing Chris Castile's Twitter feed yesterday, and there was a story off of the News OK website about Oklahoma's school plan receiving federal approval. So I want to dig into this. We've got our educational expert, also candidate for state superintendent. She's going to the runoff with Joy Hoffmeister, Linda Murphy. With that said, Linda, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Pat. I'm great.
All right, let me walk through a little bit of this article in here and have you explain some of this stuff. It says Oklahoma's Consolidated Public School Plan has received final approval from the U.S. Department of Education. It's a required benchmark under the Every Student Succeeds Act. Under ESSA, which replaced the No Child Left Behind Act in 2015, states are required to set specific academic measures for local schools. So what's this about? Who set these standards? And why are we looking to the feds to approve them? Can't we set our own standards here?
Absolutely, and that certainly was the intent of our legislature when they passed the repeal of Common Core state standards.
Okay.
Written into that law was also the requirement that we have testing that aligns with our own standards, so that means we would control the testing. But now under Hoffmeister's direction, she has hooked us up directly really with the Obama administration ideology and with state plans that are compliant with the federal government to the point that she even said in testimony before Congress that she wants them to hold us accountable.
I'm looking at the article here. Walk me through some of this stuff, too. It says Oklahoma's school plan, which was put in place last year and includes an 8-year improvement plan, places less of an emphasis on standardized tests, closely tracks chronic absenteeism, and seeks to better identify the academic struggles of overlooked student subgroups. What student subgroups are we talking about here? Which ones are overlooked?
Well, what we have here is a goal with political ideology behind it.
Okay.
That we can get equal outcomes among all subgroups. Meaning the races, she has on one of the pages of the plan a 4-year rate of improvement, breaking it down by race, black, Hispanic, white, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, let me go through the list here because some of this stuff isn't even politically correct for her. There's one, all students, another economically disadvantaged. Well, what's the criteria for that? Then students with disabilities, what's the criteria for that? English learner, American Indian, hello, what he or she living as Native American. Then you got Asian and Pacific Islanders, black, Hispanic, 2 or more races, and then white.
Right. And here's the problem that I have. Our traditional approach in America, in the United States of America, for public education has been equal opportunity for all.
Right.
That is what we should strive for, equal opportunity. We are never going to get equal outcomes in every category of performance because people are different, even within a race, of course. So this is just really an experimental approach to improving education. I believe she's sincere, but she's sincerely wrong. We will not get an improvement by focusing on measuring all of these different aspects of student categories and data sets. We need to focus on letting teachers teach and then highlighting those best teaching practices, which are successful. Some of them are maybe new ideas, but many of them are ideas that are long-standing, that have really been thrown out, like the baby with the bathwater in these reforms. So really she's giving us more of the same top-down control.
So in here they talk about the plan includes the goal of becoming a top 20 state in academic performance in 4th and 8th grade. Well, so it's a good goal, right? It says we currently rank below the national average. To cut in half the need for math and English language arts remediation after high school. Okay, great goals. How are they going to accomplish that? How are they going to do that?
Well, that's the problem. You know, the goals are great, you know, to have everyone graduating or at least 90% graduating. That's wonderful. I agree. That's a worthy goal. and the remediation rate must be reduced. Absolutely a worthy goal. But how do you get there? You don't get there by setting up a further controlled top-down system. Even the Federal Department of Education says that this plan, which they approved, hinges on partnerships between the state and district that push beyond compliance and focus on on-site coaching and guidance for academic success. Now, I don't believe that the State Department of Ed has all the answers. I believe we have expert educators in our schools across the state that are expert in their area of teaching first grade reading, third grade social studies, fourth grade math, whatever grade level or subject area. And we need to highlight those people that are in the classroom doing the work and know how to do it and share their success with others.
So what is this going to mean to parents who have kids currently enrolled in public schools? How are things going to be different? How are they going to look different?
Well, I just think it's going to be more of the same type of processing top-down that we tried to get rid of, and we actually legally got rid of it through the repeal of Common Core and setting our own standards. It's going to look like a lot of stress in testing continuing under this system. It's a lot of data collection, interim testing, reporting to the state. The people that like this plan are the ones that help create it and support it behind the scenes or even in some of the open meetings and committees. But they're education vendors of service, they're program and material sellers who are benefiting from the creation of this big data collection and
well, let's talk about that and privacy rights. Again, talking with Linda Murphy here, also a candidate for state superintendent. She's going into the runoff with Hofmeister. As a parent, what kind of data are they collecting on my children? And more importantly, who's getting that data? Where's it going to? How is it being used?
Really, Pat, I can't answer that. I don't think anyone knows as far as statewide what is happening as far as where we are now in the process. We have a state longitudinal data system that's been created that was built and developed with stimulus money from the Obama administration. And that system sits in the Office of Management and Enterprise Services, which was under Preston Dorflinger until recently when he resigned. So it's under the control of the governor. No one really knows what all is being collected in the data system. I know many administrators and teachers across the state agree with me and are not sending a lot of data in or even any data beyond what we've done traditionally. However, there are some administrators that want to push, and I'll just call it out on the edge of experimentation, and get a lot of student data collected. I think probably Tulsa is doing that. I know that that's been reported by many teachers, that a lot of student data is being collected. And I know they're going online more and more in the Tulsa public school system under the direction of Deborah Gist. So I think it varies statewide.
All right. Again, talking with Linda Murphy here about this story about the educational standards being approved by the feds. What does this mean in the classroom? What's it going to look like? And I'll use TPS as an example. What are they going to do differently to teach children to read or have math skills that are on grade level that they're not doing today? What's new there?
You know, in this large 8-year plan, which is a comprehensive plan for the statewide system, I find nothing in there that shows how education will be improved other than these data measurement sets, requirements for compliance, et cetera, et cetera. Again, the only way to do it is through good educators, good teachers that relate to the students, that care about the students, that work with them one-on-one as much as possible as needed, and, are giving the feedback and feed forward and relationship in a classroom that a student needs to succeed.
What does Trump's Betsy DeVos say about all this?
Well, she is, sadly, I do support President Trump. I supported him as he was running. And when he was elected, I still support him strongly. However, his appointment of Betsy DeVos is a great disappointment and a weakness in draining the swamp, because she really doesn't know the public education system, the laws. She's trying to keep her head above water and deal with everything that was already set up under the Obama administration. Mm-hmm. We need a change in that Federal Department of Education. We really need to decrease it and then eliminate it from control over our local public schools. Mm-hmm. That's key to success.
We're going to talk with Linda Murphy here. You know, you mentioned Common Core early on, and that was the big thing that they had to replace. So do we have, I guess, the permanent model that we're going to replace it with? How is it different than what Common Core was all about?
Well, the new Oklahoma state standards, written under the direction of Joy Hoffmeister, are our own standards. They're not controlled from the outside, other than the elements that maybe were integrated into the standards. And I have quite a few teachers around the state that have been looking at them, using them, and they're not all satisfied that they're good academic standards, and I'm not satisfied. So we need to review those standards. It doesn't mean every part of them would be thrown out, but what I do know is the testing, for sure, is not aligned with the standards, and that alone brings a big problem, because if we are in a high accountability system, which we are, then the test can actually drive the curriculum, and the standards are, in a way, irrelevant if the test is what you have to pass. And that's the way it's set up right now. So we need good academic standards. We need tests that come from those standards and align.
Linda, if people want to find out more about you, more about this, where do we send them?
Come to votelindamurphy.com or come to Facebook. You can find me there, Linda Murphy. I've also got a campaign, Linda Murphy for State Superintendent Facebook page. So find me there on Facebook to talk. Send me an email, lindalearn1@yahoo.com. And that's the number 1.
Linda, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Log on to 1170kfaq.com to check out all of Pat Campbell's podcasts, powered by the law offices of John M. Dunn.